It's March 18th, 2022. For this purpose, I'm here at the moment. And I have this at the moment for this with this that seems for March. Again, here's at a glance. There's nothing penciled in or scheduled in per se other than St. Patty's Day and some time-saving attempts that I don't know if they're going to win or fail. So Lewis comes up, and I mentioned Lois Lane today. When the U is taken out of Lewis, it becomes Lois, but whatever. On an avenue, we're talking lane. So, and again, I'm getting this, weird whatever about, about, colony, to stay colony, but there's been so much unrest, and I seem to be the one who's being beaten out of alignment time and time again, and then after out of time, and then back into time. So, being that nobody is paying attention to the rules, it seems a little hard for me to stay within the lines. So Lewis had some, after the problem and whatever, with happily ever after arriving and then disappearing and being withheld from built for over 6 foot as his SOV below 6 foot woman. Lewis informs me that in 99 he was invited to East Berlin. I don't know if that caused a colonic problem. Colic. He had something called WCN at the time. He was trying to partner and broker. I don't know what the company was about. I mean, Worldwide Corporate Network, it seemed to be pretty self-explanatory, but how the intricacies worked, I don't know. He didn't invite me in. We didn't talk about it. I mean, he tried to pitch the idea a couple of times, but he was not connecting with sound and then cognition. It was not working. It was just right over. It was kind of like my eyes got glazed. And again, he's not corrupt. I'm not corrupt. The echo chamber between his horn and my ear, my eccola, is my eyes sometimes glaze over and it goes right over. It's like wiping out, it's like putting grease on something or like a record, somebody placed a scratch. He didn't do it. I didn't do it. This is part of the insidious not following the rules of engagement with war elsewhere. So what I gather today, because he came up to speak to me, is he said he went to East Berlin in 99 to meet with people. I don't know who. I didn't even know he went. He brought me at some point into Manhattan. He drove. I drove home because he had something called a screwdriver, which is an orange juice with vodka, and he got a little loopy from one, because we don't drink. So I drove home that day. I think I was 18. There was somebody I thought there, but then that was totally taken from being able to again connect. It's like taking my air away, my breath Um, so he said he went to East Berlin. I don't know what happened. Then he came home. He was putting some kind of deal together. He was in the towers before 9/11 happened. And then the week that he was putting things together, 9/11 got, or the trade towers got hit. I don't know how. I mean, again, I don't know how any of this works. I don't know what the reason for that was. I wasn't kept in the loop of anything. I didn't even know how his corporation worked. But they were going around, and he says it was almost like a prototype, is what him and the investors were trying to do. And I don't know who the investors were at the time. I don't know if it was Morty Davis or one of the other ones. But it was almost like he was taken because they took him around, had him explain what Worldwide Corporate Network was supposed to do for podcasts and for recording these, like there was biocell, fuel cell, and something else that they were recording in a preliminary, like prototype way before the internet became big. And then something happened with .com. The bottom fell out of the market. These are the key op words he uses. And then 9/11, the tower got struck, and the financing just dried up and disappeared. I don't know why. So I also have no idea. I told Linda about Jason's attempt to murder me in my sleep, not just once, but several times. I didn't know what to do about it. I also I mean, I didn't suspect that he was the one who cut my stomach, but, or could have, whatever. But something, I don't know if I got hit while I was sleeping with a sedative, which is why I didn't wake up until I woke up, and then all of a sudden the immense pain and burning from the cuts being so deep in my abdomen while I was pregnant, no less. As if the rape wasn't enough. I really hate New York. They used to say when I was little, like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They lied. I'm in the Big Apple. And I'm the apple of someone's eye, just nothing local. I fucking hate it here. I hate humanity. I hate what I've been exposed to. So I don't know. And then now they have these big YouTubes and whatever. They commercialized it. They stole the idea. I don't know if it's a stolen idea, but they had my dad going around pitching and talking and being the salesperson for gathering the podcasts, which I don't know if they use them as for the Inquisition, for Fifth Inquisition, for Christmas decorations. I don't know if they use them as depositions, private depositions, in order to protect more dangerous, serious equipment from going public and gathering funding and things, to try to prevent the holy war as best that they could. I'm learning about holy now and what the people look like and them coloring themselves. I mean, that's indicative of spring is what they're verbalizing. But again, there's me in this broken day label where I'm all fat, adipose, out, poisoned, toxined. I've been raped. I've been shot up with sedatives and then kidnapped or taken places for whatever purposes. There's things I can remember, things I can't remember. Then there's been times I've been locked in a cell. I've been locked in a hospital. I mean, I really find nothing attractive about humans. Like Johnny Lasagna, he was attractive. Michael Houston, he was attractive. Eric, he was attractive. Eric Thomas Jefferson. But the rest of humans, but again, like they come for one special face to face, like godly contact with a Christmas decoration, and then they just disappear. And then there's no way of contacting. And then all of a sudden, like the earth stands still, and then I'm back in heaven space, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to humanity. I don't. There was nothing there. They provided no safety, no security, no love, no affection, no verbal cues. They live in a corrupted matrix. They're just making it worse. I mean, I'm walking through corrupt scenarios, corrupt environment. Now I'm walking through things that burn my face, make my face bloat up at weird times, then it shrinks down at other times. I can't breathe. I'm like putting my head up to gasp for air like a fish because there's not enough air in my tank. Not that anybody gives a shit. So I don't know. So now Lou's saying that he's thinking of reviving WCN, but with like World Claws Network. I of course wish him luck in whatever he does. I'm never a part of it. I don't know why. I hate when the world turns and when it turns over, especially in this level of corruption. When the world stands still, it's, even though I might be in the same bodice, they're able to fix at like a non-New York hospital the damage that was done. And then I go back to being heavenly and like happy. And it's easier. It's easier to find whoever I belong with, whatever label they or sound they take when they take form. And then there's a part where it's almost like a dream state where quantifiably I call it the bubble, but it's like a soap bubble looking thing, but it's in the form of a human. So conceptually, for visualization, it makes sense. I put a thing up on my Facebook, and then at dream state, you can, and not like this, not this dream. This is like they say, I have a dream. No, this is not a dream. This is a fucking nightmare. But they used to, now we'll just call it REM for my purposes, and perhaps invert the R so this way 55 and double Z zone or 22 zone doesn't get confused when they're talking H. But then there's a part where I lose the apparatus. It's just the endocrine. No, it's just the endocrine, which is the chemical bicomponents that are working in a non-corrupt environment that meet with, that can whatever, but it's not tactile, but it's sensory meeting so as not to harm one's tactile relationship with a spouse perhaps that they've taken, because it's not on a human level, it's on a like a pod level, like a dolphin pod almost, or a whale pod. They colonize, they den together, they know, but they don't have to tactile in the ocean in order to move in synchronicity. So it's more along those lines. It's more spiritual, it's less physical, but it's necessity for unspoken. Sometimes it's, if you get stuck in an unforgiving situation, I don't know how else to communicate. And I don't know how it happens. Don't ask that either. Just does. Just is. It's just sweet. So anyway, so they put Wally up today. I didn't have the spelling of his name, but actually the spelling of his name makes sense when I look at it druidically. And that's what he looks like. So druidically it makes sense to me when I look at it. At dire straits. It's star 1978. It's star 8378. Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And for this one particular message, I don't know who and I don't know why. I mean, having been Lou and Lynn, it's almost like they forced me into this. It's like their world got reprogrammed, that I was the drug addict and they were treating me like I was Tia Frio. Like I was in prison for like years on drug charges. For some reason they were coming at me like that, but with oxycodone. And I'm like, I had a prescription and I had legitimate pain and I was going through whatever I was going through. I'm not an addict, and I mean now I don't take anything, but they got this psychosomatic new like thing in their head, and I'm like, you all are drug addicts. You realize you take cholesterol pills, heart pills, water pills. You take a pill for a headache. You take a pill to go to sleep. You take a pill to wake up. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not like going down this road with this level of synthetic pharmaceuticals. I'm just not. I'm not going into natural pharmaceuticals. I'm not going into anything health related when public safety is as piss poor as it is in New York and my public health has been sacrificed or compromised, I don't know which, by shitbags somewhere else. But I have Alexander James. He's my immaculate conception. He was built in worlds away from this when time stood still. He was not built in a turning world. But he was delivered in a turning world, which was a problem. But Alexander James and I share a timeline, a time frame. And he's the type of kid where I just hold him and you don't have to speak. You just beat as one. And that's been taken from me. They allowed him to go live with the kidnapper and the rapist. Well, I call him a kidnapper now because he unjustly took the 3 kids because he had a house for them to stay in and everything was taken from me. When Linda and Lou woke up with a corrupted mind frame in a turning world, they reprogrammed the turning world into world of hurt. In order for my parents to reprogram as if I was some loser drug addict, and I woke up to that world and I'm like, are you all fucking crazy? Yeah, you are. But then I got hit with cyber spinal tap from Zup technology at things that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, but they're doing. somewhere at some level because they just don't give a shit and they're not following any fucking rules. Between pin cushions and now mental disease from regiment and temperamental, with access to whatever equipment that I don't have access to. I get pulled into when the world stands still, when the turning world gets to some point that it has to put everything on halt because it's just gotten to that level, and it's happened several times. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. So Alexander is not with me on a daily basis. That's a problem. I have nowhere to live on my own. I have no way of taking care of myself. I have no retirement. I have no daily whatever. It's like there's no escape. They've just locked me in to this disgusting profile that they created, while wasting the most precious element on the earth is time, and they've wasted every second of mine to no avail. Alexander preceded me. He was still working in when the earth stood still to fight on my behalf while I was in a turning world. So I didn't get pulled into this position. And they still denied me access to what I deserve. And they still pulled me into this position. Just so we're clear on who works for whom. And what is what. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken, and Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And the last time I was with JMG, with his white shirt on, with his embroidered cuffs, in something that looked like 69 Row Boulevard, we'll put it, for rules of engagement. Looked like Patchug, but it wasn't. It was an articulation for visual discernment that whatever, between a turning world and a world that stands still. There was something about a 10-layer cake and a solar city that was a major upcoming disruption and issue. Whatever that means. That should help with who's not completing tasks needed in a timely fashion for one purpose, which is me at the moment, to get me out of this disgusting corruptness. It's March 19th, 2022. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. They call this area a fallout shelter. If you see the level of lighting out there, it's as harmful as it looks.